What's up, everyone? Maximilian here, back with another episode of Marvel vs. Capcom 3 The Online Warrior. If you happen to be unfamiliar with the show, I essentially go through a bunch of online ranked games and do live commentary for them. I'm especially looking for people with skill, people with good connections, folks that know how to play the game, really, because it's the most entertaining to watch. And luckily enough, with the game in its current state right now, there isn't a ton of people playing Marvel 3 online, and I can hardly blame them. The online features for this game are pretty dull. However, the folks that are playing are pretty damn good. For the majority of competition I'm receiving, I'm going to run into like maybe 1 out of every 10 people don't know what they're doing, really. So the competition is really leveled up online, and that's it's kind of a good thing. It makes for more interesting videos and more interesting gameplay. One of the first things I wanted to comment right now on is some of the recent news that's been going around for Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Now, if you guys aren't in the know, before there was a person known by Lupinko that was notorious for leaking information related to Capcom fighting games. He leaked info for Super Street Fighter 4, and he leaked info for Marvel vs. Capcom 3. The same thing is actually happening right now. The most concrete news I can give you is that Comic-Con is coming up very soon. And being Comic-Con and being Marvel vs. Capcom 3, there's going to be some special announcements. Wait a minute, I got a Bolo loop, hold on a sec. Oh, I love that combo so much. Anyway, there's going to be Comic-Con coming pretty soon, and it's almost guaranteed that there's going to be something related to Marvel vs. Capcom 3 there. Now, you can take all this up with a grain of salt because this is my predictions at this point, but essentially we're going to be getting an announcement for a super quote-unquote Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And if it's if I can make a guess right here, it's going to be something similar to that we received with Street Fighter 4 to Super Street Fighter 4. So that potentially means that it might show up in the form of a DLC, but most likely I would think it would be on disc. I have this long-going suspicion of mine that they wanted to do DLC characters for this game at first, but then they tried that whole thing with Jill and with Shuma. Unfortunately, I don't think that they sold particularly well by themselves, because they were $5 a pop, and they were kind of obscure characters. We all know Jill from Marvel 2 being like Stars Jill, you know what I mean? And for her to show up in Battlesuit Jill, like, not everyone is completely familiar with that. And Shuma's a pretty obscure character. For those that played the Versus games, like a lot of you guys watching and myself, we know who Shuma is. We know he's like a character in Versus lore, and he's pretty popular, but he was pretty obscure. Like, I don't know if he would have sold too well by himself as a character, you know what I mean? It's funny, even you go to tournaments today and see the tournament organizers won't actually have Jill or Shuma on the roster because they haven't bought them yet. It's just a little goofy, and it just goes to show that that might not have been the best idea. I'm not too sure how well it's been going with Mortal Kombat, but I know that they've had quite a bit of DLC characters that they've announced and released over the past few weeks in this summer, so if it's going well for them, it's going well for them, but it sure did not work for Marvel 3. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that plan didn't go well, and what they're doing is executing a different idea and releasing Marvel vs. Capcom 3 with an entirely new, pretty much sequel-esque game. And that could be Ultimate Marvel 3. I'd love it if it was called Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, or Super, anything like that. It's just predictions of mine at this point. But seeing the trend and seeing what they're planning on doing, I'm guessing that that's what we're going to get an announcement of at Comic-Con. But thinking about Comic-Con, it looks like they're actually having panels for Marvel 3 as well, so I'm pretty excited about seeing this stuff. There's going to be some heavy announcements going on. If there's potentially characters being announced, man, I can only imagine. Like, it would be really cool to finally see some new characters in action, and Marvel 3's roster is pretty big for a vanilla game, but the game itself does need a little bit of work. I'm not gonna hark on Marvel 3 for any reason. Oh god, Wolverine. But it's still a fun game. Like, I still really enjoyed this game. I don't know if I can take it extremely serious at a competitive level, but that's just me, seriously. And are you freaking kidding me? The guy just disconnected on me. Where did Rage Quitter Hell go? I want to know. Anyway, I never really took fighting games to be like that serious. I always enjoyed them more than I wanted to take them seriously on a competitive level. So Marvel 3 is fun, you know what I mean? It's a blast to play. Hold on, Bolo loop. Oh, son of a bitch. Anyway, it's a blast to play, and for Super Marvel 3 to come out, I would only hope that they fix a couple of things, and your opinions could be completely different. But in my eyes, I think the DHC glitch should probably go. I don't know if that was intentional at first, but I think it's a thing that if they can change, that they should. Wait a minute, Bolo loop, Bolo loop. No, never mind. So the DHC glitch gone. This is more of a personal thing of mine, and you might not think the same thing, but I would love air throws to return as air throws. You know what I mean? In all the Versus games before, like except like Guile and Marvel 2, as I can think off the top of my head, air throws didn't lead to, like, you know, dead. it didn't lead to 100% combos. And I mean, that's only possible because of X Factor. But in situations where you play against a lot of Wolverines, and there is a ton of Wolverine Akuma going on online right now, like, those guys are best buds for life, even more so than Strider Doom. Sorry, Doom. I think Wolverine and Akuma have you beat. But right now, I think that there's some balancing issues with some characters, like Wolverine's extremely powerful. Dark Phoenix is maybe needing a patch, but it's really up to everyone's personal preference. There's no one person that has a say in how Marvel 3 should be fixed or shouldn't be fixed. It just ends up being what the developers think. And we'll find out from here on. But yeah, throwing I think should be nerfed a little bit. I think if you should return a character back to the ground, they should just recover, you know? And the window of one-frame throws is pretty brutal too. I'm actually checking this guy's Tron out right now. This is the most beastly on-point Tron I've probably ever played online. It was pretty cool. But getting more back to the point, and I'm sure everyone will agree with me that X Factor is pretty damn ridiculous. I would love to see something done to tone it. I don't know if they should remove it completely. I actually don't agree with them removing completely at all. What I would love to see is like a kind of like a balance adjustment for X Factor. Like, even if they took out like level 1 X Factor, which I think would be kind of a cool idea. If you just had like level 2 X Factor acted like the power of level 1, and level 3 acted like the power of level 2. Because let's be honest, level 3 X Factor is insane. It's absolutely crazy. It's one of the most brutal comeback features ever in a fighting game that I can think off the top of my head. If you can think of another one that has like a crazy comeback feature of that kind, go ahead and put it in the comments, but I really can't think of anything right now. I'd love to see that toned down just a little bit, and it's one of the reasons I'm kind of excited for Street Fighter X Tekken, is because they're actually making it like a point, like they're putting it in their marketing discussion that this game does not actually have a comeback feature. And that's kind of cool, because it's catering to the audience of guys that have been playing fighting games for a long time, and they're not used to that. They're used to these games being rewarding for skill. And if you were a noob, or if you were a guy who didn't understand, you got whooped. Like, and that's kind of the presence of Street Fighter is the thing, or versus games, or even fighting games in general, is that with the modern day age, and the way that games are marketed, it's much different. Like, things are made to make money. Like, they were always made to do that. Is that what people have to realize? They didn't just all of a sudden change the way of working and then decide that, oh, we need to start designing these games so that everyone can play them. No, it was designed for specific markets before. And with games like Third Strike, they have really high barriers of entry. And that barrier of entry is so high because if you jump into Third Strike and you have no idea what you're doing, oh my god, you will get blown the F up and you'll look like an idiot and you'll feel stupid for playing. I've had some conversations with the guys about this, and it's really true. Like, games like Marvel 2 or Third Strike, if you had not been playing for 10 years, like most of the guys around arcades playing that game have, dude, you're just gonna get the floor mopped with you. Like, and you're gonna want to leave really fast. So I can understand where they're coming from. I don't absolutely hate X Factor. Sure, it gets me wins sometimes. I'm not gonna say it's something that they should completely abolish from the game, but it's something that should just be considered for further evaluation. You know what I mean? If you guys have any comments related to balancing a Marvel 3, go ahead and put it in the comments right now. But that's all I really have to as far as like discussion, even though I kind of rambled on a little bit. There's going to be some big news coming up, but let's look at this game we got going right now. As you notice, I've been using Deadpool for quite a while. I've been getting more used to his teleports, getting more used to his mix-ups, and trying to understand zoning better, because I tend to do much better with Deadpool when I stick to the plan. And right now I'm going against Taskmaster, looks like Akuma, and that might be Magneto. So right here, I think I'm able to catch Taskmaster in the DHC glitch, or I absolutely don't. It totally whiffs. Might have just been a little bit of online there. Deadpool is good with Doom because they have the same type of synergy that Wesker and Doom have. The thing is, Deadpool's teleport is brutally fast. And taking the damage off of the third teleport, as you guys probably know, the third teleport of Deadpool's explodes his belt. Like, he can only teleport twice in succession before the third one negates, and it actually stops him, as you're seeing right here. He takes a little bit of damage, like not much, it's not a considerable amount by any means. You can actually combo off it in some situations, but I'm not nearly that good with the character yet. But when it comes to like zoning, I like to stick to that certain type of game. If you're able to keep guys at full screen with Deadpool, and then start mixing it up with jumping teleports, or I'm sorry, teleports that go behind the enemy, in front of the enemy, and then blow up on the third one just to get rid of the damage. It's really good. It seems to be pretty effective. One of the biggest detriments of Deadpool is that the dude has no life. He's got really low health, I think around 800k, correct me if I'm wrong, but he certainly seems to die extremely fast. And if he gets stuck in a bread and butter or a long combo of other character, he will almost die in one touch. So I have to be really careful with him because I put him on point, and I like to use the DHC glitch with Wesker right now. But yeah, Deadpool's a lot of fun. Like I've been saying, the Bolo loop is a blast. It's actually one of my favorite looking combos in the game. And landing his level 3 fourth wall super is awesome. But as you can see, I'm trying to keep this game right here at the distance. Magneto, if you run into good Magnetos online, they will just rock the hell out of you. If they can actually maintain quote-unquote Magneto ROM combos and things of that sort while online, it's crazy. It's crazy to see that somebody's actually able to pull this off with like network lag. You saw me use Wesker and Deadpool's teleport right there. I hardly see people actually block this thing, which is really crazy. Deadpool's comes in short and it comes in low. And I forget the one that it's called, but I think it's the first one. Essentially, you can see it there again, it's a low attack, and if Wesker teleports above the enemy at the right time, and you do essentially standing or jumping S, it'll hit them on the top, and then on the bottom, Deadpool will come in, causing an unblockable situation. So this is pretty good. And Deadpool comes out so fast that it's almost impossible to block. The only counter for it really is that if you're sniffing out the teleport with Wesker, you can grab him out of the teleport. But as you can see here, a lot of the games online end up Dr. Doom being the last guy alive with X Factor, and I've had many situations where I'll have Doom and he'll be the only one left, and I'll have like 5 meters because the guy was just, for example, you're getting blown up and the guy just whoops on your first 2 characters. But then I have Doom with a ton of meter, and Doom with meter is really annoying. It's not extremely damaging, but the chip damage is really good if you get them on a lockdown. And the reason is because he's got full screen supers, which is the finger lasers, he's got full screen hypers, which is the hyper finger lasers, and then right after the hyper finger lasers you can follow up with the Doom beam. That stuff is extremely effective, and I would argue that it makes people so annoyed that they just want to like get in and destroy him, you know, and they just want to see him dead. And I actually end up catching people off of being impatient and end up winning it because Doom had X Factor. So here's a Magneto that's taking pretty good advantage of spacing and jumping in and using his jumping fierce for a jumping attack, which is gigantic and long. And DHC glitch right here? No, Deadpool's dead. Deadpool does not have that much health. Now, he's able to catch me on a pretty swift, almost an unblockable, but luckily I'm able to mash out of it. And if I catch Magneto here, I probably should X Factor, and I don't, and that's probably a mistake. I've become a fan of X Factoring on technically the first hit, because if you're able to get, well, especially with Wesker, if you're able to get a hit on them coming in, they're pretty much dead. Like, if it's the same Wolverine tactic, where Wolverines will get an air grab on you, slide, X Factor, woof, one character's gone. Get like a 50-50 or even bigger ambiguous mix-up at the start, and you'll be dead. Just 2 characters down, you're done with your 3rd guy, and he's just got X Factor. That's kind of the way the game is. That's how you correctly play Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and wow, he catches me with the Wesker counter, and that's really going to hurt. I was just trying to DHC Wesker out, and I didn't get it in time, and I totally deserve this. Good night. So, like I was saying, that's kind of the way you play Marvel 3. and it seems ruthless, and it totally is, to be honest. It's a ruthless tactic, but that's how you win in this game. Games can be over very fast. Like, you thought Marvel 2 ended quickly? Like, my gosh, man. The average game of Marvel 3 is, on like, high level, it's either, for most of the situations, blow up or get blown up. And you see it so often, and wow, that was supposed to be Doom's level 3. Holy freaking free holy. I got massacred on that one. But that's going to just about do it for this episode of Marvel vs. Capcom 3 The Online Warrior. I hope you guys enjoyed a few ranked games and me discussing a bit about what's going on in the community right now, because there's some big news that's going to be coming. I'll be back with another video pretty soon, and of course you can expect later episodes of Assist Me, and a special announcement video that might or might not be finished by the time this goes up? Maybe? We'll see. But anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.